Welcome to Friday Night Ghost Frights, a series of real, true experiences with the paranormal and the supernatural. Ghost tales that may frighten you in the depths of the night. Have you ever seen someone standing in the doorway and then suddenly they're not there? A flicker of a shadow that made you do a double take perhaps? Have you ever awoken in the middle of the night to a dark presence standing in the corner of your bedroom? You may have just experienced a shadow person. Some may not believe the things I'm about to describe, but I assure you that everything I'm about to tell you is absolutely true. It is up to you, dear viewer, as to whether you believe me or not. Throughout my life, I've had a number of interactions with shadow people, but I'm only going to talk about the most relevant in this video, and I'm going to save the most interesting one for last. When I was 13 years old, we had moved from Massachusetts to Ohio, and while I was busy unpacking my belongings, I kept noticing something through the doorway that seemed to be peering in at me every time I would look. It would dart away. It seemed to be a bit of a shadow. I wasn't really sure what it was. I ended up asking my mother about it if she had seen the same thing. Some sort of shadow that was peering through the doorway. It always seemed like somebody was looking in, and as you turned, it would go away. And she said yes, she had actually seen that, so I wasn't seeing things. I ended up naming it Tom, as in Peeping Tom. And after a few months, he just kind of went away. What I chalked it up to at that time was that we had moved into the house, something was there, was curious about us, decided we were okay, and went about its business. That is by far one of the more innocent experiences I've had with shadow people. One of the least innocent experiences I have had was at a house in Edmond, Oklahoma. In fact, it was actually the house in which we had filmed the Monster in a Closet episode for The Haunted. Within this house one night, one of the cats was running around like crazy, had become skittish all of a sudden. Jasmine reacting is significant.
What's up, baby? Here. Something's bothering her. She's nervous or something.
Well, I followed it as it started to make a beeline toward the bedroom where most of the activity was happening. And it stopped dead in its tracks at the door. I looked into the room and I saw a massive black shadow standing in the middle of the room. The cat ended up taking off around the corner, and I stood there and watched as this mass slowly dissipated.
She took off. Kitty, kitty, kitty.
Jasmine bolted away from the doorway.
There's a cat under here in the room. No, the cat didn't make it to the room.
Some people may chalk it up to as the quote-unquote hooded shadow figure, but I really didn't see a hood. In fact, I really couldn't discern any sort of features. It was just very large, very almost like a large blob of shadow standing in the middle of the room, and it just slowly dissipated over the course of about maybe 30 seconds. I've seen a number of unexplainable shadows and shadow people at locations that I've investigated, including the Stone Lion Inn. However, the first time that I ever saw a shadow there moving on its own was not during an investigation. It was actually when I was there for the Murder Mystery Dinner Theater. And I saw coming into the suite a shadow dash into the bathroom. I went into the bathroom and there wasn't anything there. Later during an investigation, I've investigated there maybe 3 or 4 times. There was other activity that was happening with that doorway that coincided with the shadow. My first time there was as part of the Murder Mystery Dinner Theater, and only one really significant thing happened that particular night, and that was a shadow darting into my room, which happened to be the Lucille Mulhall suite. But upon another visit during a paranormal investigation, we witnessed that door creak open, the same one which I had seen the shadow go through before. Another shadow or shadow person that I witnessed during an investigation was at a restaurant called Johnny V's in Muskogee, Oklahoma. This one was really interesting. We were just finishing up the investigation. I was doing a final sweep of the lower level, and the other investigators were up in the second level, which was basically just a loft. I decided to enter through the main doors of the kitchen, and right in front of me as I entered, there was this wisp of a shadow, very distinct, that darted across the room and seemingly through the swinging metal door on the sidewall. You could hear it bang, but you didn't see it move. I asked the other investigators, hey, did you hear that? Yeah, we heard that. Would you throw anything down here that might have banged against the door? No, we didn't throw anything down here. Oh, okay. Again, shadow darted toward the door. You hear the bang of the door as if it was blowing right through it, as if somebody was running in that direction and banged right through the door. The door did not move at all. Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that bang?
Yeah. Down here.
Yeah, it was back here in the kitchen. Finally, the most significant experience that I've had with a shadow person was in my room in the middle of the night when I was a child. I woke up in the middle of the night one night, and between my window and the closet door stood a shadow person, a humanoid figure, tall and dark, no discernible features. I tried to scream, but nothing came out of my mouth. And a lot of people will try to chalk up the incident as something to do with sleep paralysis and hallucinations, still dreaming when you first wake up. But what this shadow person did was actually approach me, bend over, and cross my arms across my chest. Obviously, I don't have sleep paralysis if my arms are being crossed. Continued to try to scream, but nothing was coming out. I was just too scared. I was a little kid. Again, I don't know why this thing crossed my arms. Next thing it did was it decided to run down the hall and go into the linen closet. And I turned my head and I watched and I saw it go into that linen closet. Well, immediately I jumped up, ran to my parents' bedroom and told them what happened. And of course, they brushed it off as merely a bad dream. That certainly wasn't a bad dream. I was awake the entire time. But that moment, that event, that experience is one of the driving forces behind my interest and desire for researching the paranormal. Is it just a figment of your imagination? A symptom of sleep paralysis, perhaps? Think again. Thank you for watching Friday Night Ghost Frights. Please let us know what you think of our new show in the comments below. And if you have not yet, please subscribe. I'm Ricksecker. Until next Friday night.